the future and innovation of the mortgage industry, and you're not going to want to miss it. And if you're joining us right now live, make sure you comment #shred, because you are shredding with Jay. You're shredding with Ben and me. And we're about to talk about some things that you are not going to want to miss. But if you are joining us on the replay, make sure you comment #hustle, because that means you're out there, you're hustling, you're getting it done. Then you're coming back right here to get what you need to be successful within your business. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the one and only Ben Miller, co-founder of Simple Nexus. We've had him on the show before. He's always a riot to have on. You never know what is going to come out of his mouth, but he's always fun to have on the show. And then we have the Chief Production Officer of Sierra Pacific, Jay Promisco. Jay, thanks for joining us as well. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Shred Show.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, as we were getting ready, boys, I just have a smile on my face because I see you guys, I see the future of the industry. We're talking Simple Nexus, we're talking Sierra Pacific. And before we start getting into a lot of that, Jay, I want to talk Sierra Pacific just for a minute because you guys are doing some big things. Sierra Pacific has been one of those, we were talking beforehand, with your industry experience. You've been in this industry for a very, very long time. And now at Sierra Pacific, you guys are continuing to do very innovative things for our industry. And big things are on the horizon for Sierra Pacific.
Yeah. We've, I'm not one to be wanting to have a whole bunch of press releases out. We kind of like to stay under the radar. And, but yeah, we've done a lot of great things in the past. We're doing some really cool things now, and still continuing to take care of the broker community and the loan officer community. That's our primary customer. So.
Well, and I think that's really cool. And we were talking about this as we were getting ready to jump on here, Jay. You're really focused about the people that you serve. There's a lot of companies, there's a lot of commotion going on with IPOs flying left and right now, and all kinds of industry craziness. But you guys are focused on the people. You're focused on the originator. That ultimately, you're helping them help the consumer get what they really want at the end of the day. They're wanting to get into that dream home, but Sierra Pacific is truly focused on the mortgage professional.
Yeah, we do a lot of really cool things in technology, but I'd never call us a fintech. I don't care about multiples or IPOs. We're a private company, single owner. We don't have a lifestyle issue. We don't have a whole lot of private planes or boats or big houses to worry about. So I think that's allowed us to do much more important things versus how much money can I get out of this corporation, and so that's allowed us to focus on our customer more importantly. So.
Well, and that's what I like to hear. Focusing on the customer, focusing on the people who are important, and the people who ultimately have helped you get to where you are today, which that's one of the things that anytime I have anybody on our show, it's just exciting to me to see collaborations. And Simple Nexus, Ben, we love having you guys on the show, talking about the things that you guys are doing, because you guys continue, as Jay and I were talking about getting ready for this, Simple Nexus continues to push the envelope, continues to work with great companies like Sierra Pacific to make integrations happen that are simplifying the industry, that are helping the industry grow, that are helping the industry look outside the box. So when it comes to integrations, when it comes to working with companies like this, I know you guys, you have a process, but at the same time, you really look for partners who truly are going to help the industry grow as a whole.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this was a really cool opportunity collaborating with Sierra Pacific and Jay in particular. I mean, Jay had a vision of what he wanted to happen over there and how he wanted to leverage our tool to create success and innovation for his team. Jay, you talk about, you guys aren't a tech company, but definitely you understand tech and you approach it in a way that can yield, these innovative results that really just compound the efficiency and effectiveness of everyone across the line, loan officers, referral partners, borrowers, the back office team, everybody. And for us, it was a proud moment for us, to have a very configurable platform that Jay's team can take advantage of. And together we were able to create something special because we don't have, the building block, that system of record being the LOS. It's not one of your typical LOSs, there's a custom environment. And we were able to, present APIs that they could leverage to create, a really cool outcome to take advantage of everything we've built, thus far for them.
Which to me is really exciting. You talk about this integration and we talk about kind of being different and trying new things. And Jay, as you were sharing with me, something that you guys shared and you guys were able to achieve, which coming from a mortgage background, it kind of was baffling. It was almost mind-boggling to me. You guys are actually able to use Simple Nexus, to use the platform along with what you guys have and build almost a custom integration where you don't actually use an LOS. You don't have Encompass. You don't have a Calix. You don't have an LOS, right?
Well, we have a system of record. So we have a JBase pick. It's an old pick platform. So it's JBase. And I mean, when you look at what an LOS is, it's a database first and foremost. And then you've got some stuff layered on top of it so that your loan officers can interact and your customers can interact. And we like JBase, and some people probably don't know what that is, but it operates at such a enormous amount of speed because the amount of calls going to the database are spread out in a way that allows the front end system to interact way more quickly than if you're using an Empower or an Encompass. And so we built a digital front end around our JBase system, and we integrated Simple Nexus to be kind of the primary place for loan originators to operate in. And what was really the reason why we decided to go this route is we wanted to be able to move fast and quickly. And when you're working with some of the big platforms, if you're trying to make a change over with Ellie Mae, I mean, there's unless all 400 other users of Ellie Mae decide to agree on the change, it's not getting done. So we wanted to make our own thing, and we've been doing this a long time. And frankly, I didn't like the other platforms, so we built our own.
This is what's really cool to me, guys, is in a day and age like today, is you have companies like Simple Nexus and you have companies like Sierra Pacific who are like, you know what, I want something better. And we're not bashing on Ellie Mae. We're not bashing on anybody out there. We just want to you just wanted something different. It wasn't there. And Ben, did you guys ever imagine that you could be taking the place, that you could be almost replacing, for a lack of a better word, replacing these LOS systems and working with companies like Simple Nexus to say, or Sierra Pacific, and like, hey, you know what? Here's your idea. We can actually make this happen. Did you guys ever imagine that you'd be at this place today?
Yeah, and it's something we built the platform to be very configurable from day one, right? Of understanding, and that goes back to our deep-rooted effort to serve the customer wherever they may be and however they may want to work with you. And so, with Jay and Sierra Pacific, seeing that they had their custom LOS, we already had the bones, the infrastructure built, the APIs to be able to connect with them however they wanted to interact with us. Now, let me be clear. We're in no shape or fashion trying to replace the LOS or be an LOS. I mean, that heavy lift is definitely upon Jay's shoulders, right? It's
Sure.
Sierra Pacific. I mean, they built a tremendous system over there for us to interact with. But the fact that we have such a powerful architecture that could integrate with whomever, wherever, whatever, right? To create a really configurable and customized experience for how they want to originate. This is an industry that sells the same thing, one of 4 or 5 main core products over and over and over and over. However, there are, a million different ways to manufacture a loan. And, each company has their own, specific secret sauce or manufacturing process or pipeline. And that's what Sierra Pacific has created with their, custom system of record. And it's on us to be flexible and configurable enough and to have the technical prowess to understand how they have built their system and how we can collaborate and partner to create something special, create something more. And that's what we're able to do there.
And this shows some humility here, Ben, because like you mentioned, Ben and Sierra Pacific, their team over there, they're the ones who did the heavy lifting. You gave them the option. You gave them like, hey, you know what? We can help you with this. Like, that's why I love collaborations like this. And that's why I talk about this all the time on the show. That's what we see the future of the industry really becoming. It's companies coming together and saying, and companies like Sierra Pacific and Jay saying, hey, you know what? There's not exactly what we want out there, but where is a company like Simple Nexus, or who can we work with that can actually make this come to light? And Jay, so I want to kind of talk that point with you for just a second. When you started working on this, when Sierra Pacific said, you know what, we want something different, we want to make this a more simplistic process for the originator. I'm sure you guys kind of looked out there and you started looking, but how did you guys settle on Simple Nexus? How did that ultimately come down to like, hey, this is what's going to be best for us and what we're working on?
Well, Ben's a really good salesman, so let's just say it. No, at my prior engagement, we had a really smart guy. We built our own version of Nexus, and it took us 3 years and multiple millions of dollars. And then we looked at, when I got to Sierra, I wanted to kind of replicate what we had done, and we found Simple Nexus, and it was exactly what I'd already spent time building. And it was what I loved about them is, you know, they were humble enough to say, we haven't thought this whole thing through either. I mean, it's because everything changes over time. The consumer behavior every month is different. And they kind of said, well, what do you want it to look like? And I said, well, I kind of like it to look this way. And they came back, you know, a couple of weeks later and said, yeah, we can do that. And the other part of the collaboration that worked well is not trying to do it all at once. And, you know, sacrificing good for great. We decided to take a slow, methodical process to get all of the different tools available in Simple Nexus. And we're still not done. We're still working on other integrations. We're only halfway done. And if I have my way, I'm going to give Ben a whole bunch of other really great ideas and gets his developers to work on for us. But what I like about it is that they don't pretend to know everything. I don't pretend to know everything, but I know when we get our smart people with their smart people in the same room, we come up with some really cool ideas. So,
and that's what I like, is because everybody's coming from a point of like, hey, let's collaborate together. It's not just Sierra Pacific. It's not just Simple Nexus. Jay, I love that you're like, you guys came to them and said, hey, you know what? We have this idea, and they were humble enough to say, oh, you know what? That I think we can work with this. Like, I think we've kind of thought about that, but like, let's work together. And Ben, that's truly, every time we've had you guys on the show and had other partners you guys have worked with or collaborated with, that's kind of the idea is you guys have this incredible technology piece. You have these brilliant tools, but at the end of the day, it's working with companies and guys like Jay and Sierra Pacific that say, you know what, let's bring these out. Like, let's work together and let's really make something phenomenal for our industry.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you know, look, we have a certain expertise, a technical prowess and expertise and understanding of how different systems come together and whatnot. But our partners, our customers are the experts in originating loans, right? They're the experts of the industry. They've been doing it longer. They, you know, live it day in and day out. And when we bring those together, right, we don't claim to be the expert of how to originate a loan, right? You know, we have open ears and open minds, and we want to partner. I mean, that again, I think it goes back to our 99% plus customer retention rate, as we partner with everyone. We treat them as a partner to create things together. We don't try to dictate to them, oh, this is the only way to do it. You know, again, they rely on us for our expertise, and we rely on them for their expertise, and together it creates something really, really powerful.
So I have to ask both of you guys, and I would like your opinion on it kind of from both standpoints. Is this what the future of the industry is? Is it collaborating? Is it working together? There are some companies out there who are just trying to dominate and own the space all by themselves. They're they're like, hey, we've got this. We don't need anybody else. We're going to go at this all alone. Or is it the companies and the teams that are willing to collaborate who will ultimately win? Jay, what are your thoughts?
Well, I get a little tired of hearing about companies that continue to buy other companies and continue to say things like we're the only competition that should be out there. That's not how I go through life, anyways. But there will be a lot of the big tech companies have become so big and so inflexible. Basically, if you buy something, they're not changing it. You're getting it out of the box. And if you want to change anything, give yourself 3 years and 10 million and we'll change it. But then it becomes, you can't ever get off the platform. Even if you love or you don't like the platform, you're stuck. and it becomes incredibly expensive to operate. And for us, when we look into the future, at some point, it will be margins will start getting compressed again, and I need to be able to work cheaper and more efficiently. And I can't do that if I have this big, gigantic, fixed behemoth cost embedded in every single one of my loan transactions. So I think the ones that will survive are those that have either capital to lose, or people that have been smart about the manufacturing process and have been eliminating costs in their organization. It'll be one of those two things. I'm going to bet on the second one, which is small, nimble companies that can change quickly and have good vendor partners that listen.
You can only lose so much capital before you get tired of it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Ben,
Yeah.
did you guys, I mean, kind of to go along this same line, because I want your thoughts on the future of our industry. But did you guys ever think you would be so nimble? I mean, Simple Nexus, I don't want to say Sierra Pacific and Simple Nexus are both huge companies and growing companies serving thousands of clients within our industry, but you are nimble enough to change.
Yeah, no, I want to kind of pair that question and previous together. I mean, speaking of our size, 1 in 8 loans, or 13% of the entire industry's volume went through Simple Nexus one way or the other so far this year. And so Simple Nexus is definitely a major player in the industry. We're very proud of our growth and what we've created. But it's just when you're talking about partnership and, collaboration and creating something nimble and fast, that's just good business. I mean, that's just how we're going to run our business. That's how we think it should be done and how we do it and how we're going to continue to do it. You talk about the behemoths of the world, they just can't move as fast. Even though we're a much bigger company now, hungry is one of our core values. Hungry and scrappy, those go hand in hand. And that is something that's part of our core culture that we're going to maintain throughout, however we, wherever we go, right? And you can be a larger company, but focused on your customer, focused on providing value constantly, and you can move fast and you can move nimble. If you're beholden to other masters, so to say, that can hamper your ability to make change and to react fast. And I've been very, very fortunate to be able to, focus on our customer and focus on ROI and creating value and how to partner with people. And that's just who we are. That's our DNA and how we're going to go about it. And this is a tremendously large industry. I mean, you have the Amazons of the world in retail. And you also have, the corner shop or the little Etsy store or whatever that's hyper focused on a core kind of local experience, and both thrive and survive. So, I think, with mortgages, there's a lot of work out there, a lot of loans to be done. And especially with mortgage and real estate, there's a lot of local focus and how you can win in that environment. But being nimble and just, focusing on the customer is going to be key going forward, I believe.
I love that. And that just embodies who you guys are. Like, as a company as Simple Nexus, as Sierra Pacific, it's super exciting for me. Again, being that I get to talk to so many great people within our industry and get to see so many different things, hearing from both of your guys' sides of where our industry is going, companies that are working together, the collaborations that are happening, it gives me hope, because like you said, Ben, this is a big industry. At the same time, it's a very small industry. It seems like most people kind of know each other, but there is opportunity for companies to collaborate. And Jay, that's kind of, as we start wrapping things up here, I kind of want to talk about that, because as Sierra Pacific, again, you guys are doing big things. You're serving the mortgage community, but you're focused on the originator. You're focused on really making that process as simple as possible, so the originator can go out and serve their community, can go out and serve the ones that ultimately are looking to finance their future, their dream home. And Jay, that's what you guys are all about. And you're focused, you have your niche, who you're really good at serving. And that's why you've partnered with a company like Simple Nexus, is to really focus on that niche.
Yeah, I think the secret to our success is understanding who we are and who we are not. If you're in the space and you're trying to be everything to everybody, and so, for example, if you're a mortgage company and you're doing conventional and government, you think you need to do non-QM, you need to do jumbo, and you need to do renovation and home equity, you need to spit out a number of things. You're going to do all those things, but you're not going to do any one of those things very well. And I think being hyper-focused, understanding who you are, playing to your strengths and not trying to get over your skis with something, and not, I see some companies, they have 50-page rate sheets, and, they're hiring and they're doing all it. They're not going to be successful because they're not being really focused on what they're good at. And I'm so lucky to where it's come. It's been here for 34 years, and the guy that owns it has been through every single cycle you could possibly think of, and has always come up roses. And I think Sierra Pacific Mortgage is one of the few companies that has the same name as it did in 2007. Everybody else, you can probably name 2 other companies that have the same name. That gives some hope too. So.
You can't expect to be a jack of all trades and a master, or you can't be a jack of all trades and a master. Well, you know how to say it. Thank you, Ben. We know where we're going with that. And Sierra Pacific, it's true, Jay. Like, you look at Sierra Pacific's background, the ownership of it, and it hasn't changed. It has withstood the test of time, and that's what's exciting to me. And again, but at the same time, Jay, that's why this integration with Simple Nexus, like, you're still nimble enough. You're willing to change. And Ben, that's what I kind of want to end on, is because there are companies out there that I'm sure, again, Sierra Pacific is doing huge amounts of business. And there are some companies out there who are probably like, we're too big. Like, we are too far down this rabbit hole. We can't change. Like, we are just so stuck in this little box that, we think is the mortgage industry, but companies can change, and Simple Nexus makes that possible.
Yeah, totally. We're willing to partner with anyone, anywhere, anyhow, to be able to make, create value for them, their customer base. And we're doing it every day. And it's kind of funny, I just got Slack from one of our sales guys talking about, just got off a call with a firm that's really excited about how we can partner with them. And so the other people that we're looking at were just really distracted with other aspects, trying to build other technology verticals or whatnot. And Simple Nexus is focused on mortgage and being the best at mortgage and creating that best opportunity. So it's knowing who you are, right? Knowing what you do and being, very laser focused on creating value around that. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
That's awesome.
You're not allowed to take all my good ideas, Ben. Don't get
Oh, just some of them, just enough. But Jay, that's just it. It's that mentality, willing to share, willing to help, because it is bettering the industry as a whole. And Jay, back to your point, like you mentioned earlier, the previous company you were with, you guys spent how much time and how many millions of dollars, and then found a great company like Simple Nexus that already had it right there for you, so you could get back and focus on what you're already good at, which is serving our originator, the broker, the LO community. So guys, I want to thank you guys both so much. So many great points, so many great topics of discussion. There's so much more we could have gone into, but we're going to end it at that, because that's what we're all about here, talking about integration, collaboration, and the future that is our industry. And you heard it right here from Jay with Sierra Pacific and Ben Miller over at Simple Nexus. So guys, thank you so very much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, you guys got some great information. If you're looking to get any more information about Sierra Pacific, I will post their information below, and as well as Simple Nexus, I will post a link to both their sites so you guys can get the info you need to go out there and continue to dominate your local community. With that, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time for you to go shred, go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See ya. See you guys.